Now, it's necessary for me to say that I don't practice Ifa religion and I don't patronize Babalawos. The reason why I do these things is because I want to study the history of our people anthropologically also. So that's why I travel in the Caribbean, Latin America, South America, North America, trying to find out the cultures that enslaved black people left behind and have grown into. So while I study Santeria, I study it as an anthropologist. I study it historically. I don't study it because I want to practice it. Now, I say this because it's very important. A lot of people probably look up to me, and I don't want them to patronize Babalawos or practice Ifa religion if that's not what they do. I believe in Yeshua HaMashiach, whom some people know as Jesus Christ, and I believe that's the only way to salvation because that's what scripture tells me, and I believe scripture. However, what I'll tell you is this: Ifa means divination, and you see also divination in scripture. Exodus 28:30 in the Old Testament, and also in the New Testament, Acts chapter 1 verse 26. So the reason why I did this is just for academic and anthropological purposes. So watch this video and then take the needed lessons. Thank you for watching, and may God bless you. Now, if you remember, when I was in Cuba, I did a video about the strength of Yoruba culture. I told you guys, in Cuba you have a number of Yorubas. You got a lot of Yorubas, but they don't call themselves Yorubas, they call themselves Oruba. So the Y is silent. And that in Cuba, both black and white, they do Ifa, and then they consult Babalawos. So they have a religion, they call it Santeria. Santeria is a mixture of Catholicism with Ifa Yoruba traditional religion. And so they came up with Santeria. As a matter of fact, saints in Santeria are called Orishas. I know what Orishas are in Yoruba Ifa tradition. Now, it is a very, very big thing also in Brazil. In Brazil, in fact, it's bigger in Brazil because what a lot of people don't know, and it's going to shock you, there are more Yoruba people in Brazil than in Nigeria. Yeah, that's just a huge shock. There are over 100 million black folk in Brazil, and most of them are of Yoruba origin. Now, I'm in Florida. I'm in a town called Daytona Beach. And I just want you guys to see something here. Now, this is popular. A lot of the white folk come here. It's popular. And this guy is not a Nigerian at all. He's not a Nigerian. He's a white guy. As a matter of fact, we just spoke to him. And his name is Uriel. That was his name, right? Yeah. Uriel. I mean, a white guy called Uriel. But guess what he does? Look at this. Look at this. He is a Babalawo. You see that? A Babalawo. You see, he's from Cuba by Babalawo. So you see what they do? They do readings, consultations. They do like, you see, like they put it in Spanish because, you know, a lot of people from Latin America, they speak either Spanish mostly or some others speak Portuguese, which is similar to Spanish. So you see, now you see it's meant to be an Orisha. They've turned, you know, like, a lot of people like, I mean, this is wrong, you know, but that's what Santeria is. So you see that now, you see, and then look at that. That's a black Madonna, of which the original Madonna was actually black. But look at that, a black Madonna with a white baby Jesus. And look at that. Colors today. La Menos Hoy. Readings Consulta by Babalawo. You could just imagine that. There's more here. Look at that. You see? Look at that. So now this guy is black, but the guy here, Uriel, is actually white. You know? Let's look at that. I mean, look at this. So look at that. Botanica San Cristobal. You see all of that? It's just the strength of Yoruba culture, you know, that they were able to keep their culture. I mean, some of you saw when I went to various Caribbean islands, you know, it's basically the Yorubas were among probably the only enslaved people in the Caribbean and in the Americas that kept their culture. Almost all others lost their culture. But in Tobago, when I went to Tobago, there are people of Efik and Igbo origin. They kept some of their culture, but they didn't know where it came from. And then if you saw the documentary I did, I was able to tell them about their culture. Anyway, this is Reno Makri. Talk to you guys later. From somewhere and tells me that, oh, I also understand this. So you see, the word Orisha, you know, like among the Yoruba, it's like a god, you know, God, a small God. But over in their religion here in Cuba, it's like a saint. So it's like a Orisa. So Eshu, what you call Eshu? Over here they call it Esu. we know Eshu as devil, but to them, Eshu is something good that, like they worship, it brings them love, it brings them blessings. And so we need to understand, Yoruba, that culture is a very, very dynamic culture. It's a very, very powerful culture. It's all around the Caribbean. It's all around Latin America, North and South America, and then the Caribbean, that we need to unify these people with Nigeria. So a lot of them can come and visit Nigeria. It's going to help tourism. It's going to help promote, Afro-Caribbean, Afro-Latino relationship. Now, watch this video of somebody who speaks Yoruba, or rather her mother speaks Yoruba. The guy, the white guy who speaks Yoruba, he was camera shy, he didn't want to talk. Now, just watch this video. Hello, Brandy, how are you doing?
I'm good, and you?
Okay, so what's your origin?
Jamaican and half Cuban.
So you're half Jamaican, you're half Cuban, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so who's Cuban?
My mom.
Your mom.
Mm-hmm.
What language does your mom speak?
Arabic and English, and she also knows Creole.
Okay, so Yoruba?
No, she never taught us,
Okay.
but with her mom, they speak it.
Okay, so her mom, she speaks Yoruba,
Mm-hmm.
but she never taught you guys Yoruba?
No.
Okay. So in Cuba, do they speak Yoruba?
Yes.
They speak Yoruba?
Mm-hmm. They taught it in school.
They teach it in school in Cuba?
Yes.
So are you surprised to hear that it's an African language?
No.
Did you know it was an African language?
Yeah, mostly everything is related
From Africa? Okay. So where do they speak Yoruba in Africa? You have an idea?
Ghana?
No, not Ghana. No.
I'm not sure.
It's spoken in a country called Nigeria. That's where they speak.
Okay.
That's they speak Yoruba.
My mom's married.
Okay, now Woody, you know the music, calypso music.
Calypso music, yeah.
Where did it originate from?
So it's originally from Tobago.
Okay, so was it called calypso? What was it called?
Kaiso.
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 Yeah. Kaiso.
Kaiso, not
Kaiso.
calypso.
Not
So
calypso.
okay, so it was like maybe like the white folks that couldn't pronounce
Yeah,
Kaiso.
they couldn't pronounce it.
Oh, so they couldn't pronounce Kaiso, so they
Yeah.
called it calypso.
Calypso, yeah.
Okay, so what does Kaiso mean?
It means moving forward.
Moving forward.
Moving forward. That's
Kaiso
the meaning.
means moving forward.
Yeah.
Okay, now would it surprise you if I tell you that Kaiso is actually a word from a language in Nigeria? The name of that language is called Ibibio. There's a branch of Ibibio called Efik. So you got Ibibio and Efik. Now, the word Kaiso actually means go forward.
All right.
Exactly the same thing. So you said moving forward.
Yeah.
The word Kaiso actually means go forward.
Go forward. All right.
So what happened is like the slaves were brought from that part of Nigeria here.
Yeah.
And so you have that word Kaiso, and you're saying go forward.
All right.
That's the origin.
That's it. Yeah.
Okay, now let me ask you. Yesterday you took me to a witchcraft tree, which is the tallest tree in Tobago.
Yeah.
Okay, now what's the Tobagan word for witchcraft?
Well, we call it Obia.
Obia.
Yeah, Obia.
Obia.
Yeah.
So that Obeah.
Yeah.
Obia.
Yeah.
Obia.
Obia.
Would it surprise you if I tell you that this same language, right? So the word for witchcraft or witch doctor is actually Abia.
Abia.
So it's an Abia. Like for instance, you say Abia Ibok, a juju man, a witch doctor man.
Yeah.
Abia Ibok.
Yeah.
And then it comes from that same language, Ibibio and Efik, as well as a language called Igbo. Igbo. So in Igbo, it's called Dibia. Dibia. They actually pronounce it Dibia. And then in Efik and Ibibio, it's called Abia. So I'm going to tell you, Igbo and Ibibio are similar languages. They are not the same language.
But Reno travels all around the world. I hope you get inspired about what you see. Apostle of greatness, Reno is a master. Only one man against the whole world in large. Fighting with the monsters. Poverty I can't stand. That's why Reno is